Alright guys, my name is Rowlands and I'm a nutritional balancing practitioner, and yesterday or a couple of days ago I made a video on moving from fast oxidation to slow oxidation. So I thought I'd do the opposite, but we don't want people to move from slow oxidation to fast oxidation. Basically when you're a child, in general you should be in fast oxidation until you get to, I don't know, above 8 and early teens, and then usually what happens is the oxidation rate will switch to like a slower oxidation, and that's the natural path really for humans. Very rarely there is a group of people who are called true fast oxidizers, who are just genuinely fast oxidizers. They're not fast oxidizers under stress. I've never come across anyone that's a true fast oxidizer. I think it was much more common a few years ago, or maybe a decade or two ago, when the state of the earth and the chemicals and the toxins were not as bad. But in general, if you're an adult, you should be a slow oxidizer. And if you're in fast oxidation as an adult, it's generally fast oxidation, slow oxidation under stress. Now what happens in the stress wave is basically when an individual becomes stressed, if the body has some degree of adrenal output and thyroid output, basically if the person has some degree of health, the body will switch into fast oxidation to try and deal with whatever stress that is, which is a healthy way to deal with stress. But in general, you should be coming back into slow oxidation. So anyone that's in fast oxidation, we call fast oxidizer under stress. Slow oxidizer under stress. So basically the body is stressed out and is in fast oxidation, hopefully temporarily, and it will come back into slow. Some people are chronically in fast oxidation. As I mentioned in the other video, a lot of this has to do with psychology. Some of it has to do with toxins, but a lot of it is these people are just hard drivers, but their body has a degree of health to keep them in fast oxidation. And psychologically it's challenging for these people to slow down from fast oxidation because they don't want to slow down psychologically, which is totally understandable. I've been there myself. I've been in fast oxidation 2 or 3 times in the past 8 years, so I understand what it's like. It's not nice when you're in that flow of fast oxidation. For some people it's definitely not nice, because if you're in extreme fast oxidation, can be very irritable. So that's a basic overview. So in this video, what we're mainly talking about is, well, I'll just talk about something else briefly actually. For some people, for a lot of people, they've actually burned out of the fast oxidation minerals. Their body's so burnt out that they just do not have any minerals left or energy left for their body to be in fast oxidation. So they just go into like slow oxidation, you know, and you get levels of slow oxidation: mild, slow, you know what I mean, and then like extreme slow, very slow, extreme slow. So a lot of these people, that's when they will get in touch and try and get on a nutritional balancing program. These sorts of people have got a very high calcium magnesium ratio in a calcium shell. Sorry, not a high calcium magnesium ratio, a high calcium magnesium. They're in calcium shell. Usually they're in sympathetic dominance. Their potassium levels below 4. Their body's pretty much burnt out, completely burnt out. It doesn't have the energy or the vitality to sustain fast oxidation, so it just collapses. That's the basic idea behind it. So these people we obviously want to speed up. We want to speed up the oxidation rate. You know, in general, on a hair analysis, to figure out whether you're in slow or fast oxidation, you just have to look at the first 4 macrominerals: calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. If the calcium magnesium level is above sodium potassium, you're in slow oxidation. The higher that level, the more extreme the slow oxidation is. And then the opposite, if the sodium and potassium is above the calcium and magnesium, that is fast oxidation. And the higher that level, the more extreme the fast oxidation is. So people in slow oxidation, extreme slow oxidation, as I said, we never want to move someone from slow into fast. We always just want to increase the oxidation if they're in slow, depending on how slow they are, to keep them, mild slow is kind of an optimum way to be. So basically, if you're in extreme slow oxidation, you are burnt out. You are basically collapsed. And the way to get out of that is obviously to do the nutritional balancing program, but to realize that unlike someone in fast oxidation who psychologically has to just slow down a little bit, do you know what I mean, and come to terms with slowing down, the extreme slow oxidizer, they have to realize that their body is so burnt out that they need to rest, rejuvenate, recover, and that will speed up the oxidation rate. Now, an issue that a lot of slow oxidizers have is that although they're in slow oxidation, their mentality is still trying to be quick. This is why you see things like sympathetic dominance, potassium level at 4, 3, 2 and 1. The more lower the potassium level, the more extreme a person tends to think, the more willful they are. On a positive note, these sorts of people that are in sympathetic dominance are more spiritually orientated. They want to get up and get on with life, but they don't know how to do it without burning the system out. So this is the challenge for extreme, for slow oxidizers, is that they need to learn to just rest, and that's what's most important. Trying to just don't beat themselves up about this process that they're in. They need to heal themselves, they need to detoxify themselves, and the quickest way really of getting out of slow oxidation is to just rest as much as possible. Other things are, once you're in this pattern, you need to detoxify the body, because the body's full of toxins. This is why we use things like coffee enemas, sauna therapy, supplementation. Other things, and especially if you're in sympathetic dominance, is the pulling down exercise. The pulling down exercise is an exercise whereby you focus in the mind. It teaches the mind to slow down, and that's really, really important for getting yourself out of that sympathetic dominant pattern. We do use supplements to raise a slow oxidation if you're not in a full low pattern. So things like Megapan will be used, which is a B complex vitamin to help speed up the oxidation rate. Thyroid complex helps speed up an oxidation rate. Other supplements do, I suppose kelp is pretty good. But it's a combination of rest, detoxification, remineralization, and using supplements to balance out whatever patterns you're in to speed up that oxidation. So I hope that makes sense. I suppose the nutritional balancing program is kind of basically the majority of people are in slow oxidation. They've burnt themselves out, you know what I mean? So the nutritional balancing program provides or caters for all of that issue. Lifestyle is about slowing down, resting, grounding yourself. Diet is about yang, hot, grounding, alkaline diet that keeps you to the earth. Supplements in slow oxidation, as I've just mentioned, will be used. Meditation to slow down the mind, reflexology to make you feel relaxed, to massage the meridians, etc., etc. All of these things combined will speed up the oxidation rate. And just to briefly share the opposite, which is a fast oxidizer, these people generally are tired and fatigued and burnt out underneath, like the slow oxidizers, but they've got a little bit more adrenal and thyroid activity available for them to use, so they're in the fast oxidation state. So obviously to get them out, we do use supplements. We do, take away any toxins that's on, coffee enemas, saunas, supplementation, because they can stimulate some of your fast oxidation. But usually the person will switch out of fast oxidation into a more slow oxidation pattern, and you can see that again they are burnt out, similar to the people that are already in slow oxidation. So I hope that makes sense. Sometimes it does take a little bit to wrap your head around fast oxidation and slow oxidation. So I hope that makes sense. If you do want to start a nutritional balancing program, development program, then just send me an email, Lewis, Lewis at deephealingspace.com. Thanks for watching, and I'll speak to you all soon. Cheers.